and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavor show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
Welcome to the deep dive. So you sent us a whole stack of sources covering the latest from Ambridge, and wow, we have been listening in on everything from, chaotic family mornings to these huge, sudden, life-changing departures.
It's a lot.
It is. And this deep dive isn't just about what happened. It's really about the hidden agendas, right? The emotional math people are doing when their duty to the community clashes with what they want personally.
Exactly. The source material today gives us this perfect little microcosm of village life under pressure. On one side, you have all the logistical stuff, running a business when everything's changing.
Like Adam's new farm venture.
Right, and the whole fight to keep the village shop alive. But then on the other side, you have these explosive personal crises where relationships are just, they're detonated by secrets that no one's talking about. Yeah. Our mission here is to unpack the reality behind the rhetoric in both areas.
Okay, let's dive in. Let's start with home farm. We first see Adam and Susan in the middle of that classic morning scramble with a kid.
Oh yeah, the Xander scramble.
Totally. Trying to get him out the door, and of course his shoes and his reading book are under the table. It's that kind of chaos that just perfectly highlights how frantic Adam's schedule is now. Drop Xander at Breakfast Club, run to meet Brian, and then he can finally get back to what he calls the home farm paperwork.
And that context is so important. The pressure at home is high, but the sources make it really clear that this professional shift for Adam has been a good thing, a net positive. He's not just busy, he actually says he's enjoying it.
You used the word exhilarating.
He did. Exhilarating. Which tells you everything. This isn't just a new job for him. It's a much better fit. And he says explicitly that he is not missing the dairy business, which, that was a huge part of his life for so long.
But he did qualify that, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He immediately said he misses working with Susan and Clar every day. So that tells us that the new workload has come at a cost.
Less time with people he likes.
Right. Less collaborative time. But the professional fulfillment he's getting, it seems to be offsetting that loss. It really confirms that the move was not just necessary, but actually kind of creatively stimulating for him.
And speaking of collaboration, we see Ian jumping in, giving up his day off to help Adam with deliveries.
In the pizza van.
In the pizza van, because, as the source says, it was just sitting there. And Adam mentions that Ian, quote, loves all that delivery stuff. So it seems like Ian's finding a bit of fulfillment in this, temporary courier role too.
Which is actually the perfect transition to the next big thing they're facing, the future of the village shop.
Yeah, the physical shop is closed, so they're doing these deliveries to try and keep customers engaged. It sounded like it was a pretty small operation for now.
Very small. Only half a dozen deliveries planned for that day. They figured it would take about an hour, so they're clearly focusing on maybe high-need customers for now.
The urgency isn't really about today's orders, is it? It's about the future. Their online system has been up and running since the weekend, and the big fear is that people will just forget about them while the shop is closed.
And Susan's feeling that. She says Ambridge isn't the same without the shop being open. She feels that community impact really deeply. And that urgency, combined with Ian being out on the road, that's what sparked this huge idea.
Right, people started asking him if they could hire the pizza van for parties and things.
Exactly. And Ian's mind just immediately connected the dots. Why not make this official? A sort of mobile shop / pizza delivery service in one.
And this is where we see that classic tension between, innovation and tradition. Ian's all about the future, the business viability.
But Susan pumps the brakes.
Immediately.
Right.
She becomes the voice of community governance, saying any big permanent change like that would need approval from the shop committee. And she calls them no pushovers.
And her stance there gives you this fascinating look into the soul of Ambridge retail. For her, deliveries are a sideline. They have to be. The real value of the shop is sociological. It's a place for people to meet, to chat.
To brighten people's lives, I think was the phrase.
That was it. She's basically arguing against a future that's purely about transactions. She sees the shop as a community anchor.
But is she being a bit unrealistic? I mean, you're in a retail crisis and you're prioritizing nostalgia over a business model that could actually work. It seems like a risk.
That's the dilemma, isn't it? And all that uncertainty gets amplified when Susan gets that text from Hazel.
Oh yeah, the text. Just mentioning an update on the shop and that she'll call later in the week.
And Susan's immediate reaction is just pure pessimism. She calls it typical Hazel, spreading unease. It shows you they're already braced for bad news, which makes Ian's exciting new vision feel, a lot more fragile.
So from the shaky future of the village's main business, the sources just throw us straight into the crisis threatening George's personal future.
A total shift in tone, high drama.
It's so sudden. Amber tells George she's leaving for Ireland.
Tonight?
Tonight. I mean, that's not a plan, that's an escape. Her reason, the one she gives to him, is that she needs some time to think.
The classic line.
The classic. She says the wedding, living together, everything's happened so fast. And she tries to soften it, right? She insists, I love you.
Introducing the Archer's mug, where elegance meets everyday comfort. Crafted from premium white ceramic, designed with vibrant peekaboo colors inside, simple, modern, and stylish. Start your day the Archer's way, with warmth, familiarity, and the comfort of voices you've come to love. As the stories unfold on the Archers, let this mug become part of your daily ritual, a small reminder of life in Ambridge. Practical for every home, dishwasher and microwave safe. Available in 2 sizes, 11 ounces and 15 ounces, designed to fit your lifestyle. Enjoy your favorite drink in a mug that connects you to Britain's most beloved countryside story, The Archers. For more information, and to order your very own The Archers mug, follow the link below and make it part of your daily routine.
That hasn't changed.
But if you look at the logistics of her leaving, it just screams panic. She called her job first thing this morning to get unpaid leave.
So she made this decision hours before she even told him.
Hours before. And she says she's going for a couple weeks, but then when he pushes her on it, she admits she's not sure when she'll be back. That's what's causing George so much distress. He knows this isn't just time to think.
No, it's a pre-breakup move. And his reaction is just, it's pure desperation. He says, it's a bit late for that, isn't it?
He's not the one who needs time to think. He's sure. He knows what he wants.
Yeah. And then his friend Brad tries to comfort him later by saying, maybe because it all happened so fast, slowing down is a good thing.
Brad's trying to rationalize it for him, but George is just feeling the rejection. He tells Brad, I can't bear to be away from her, and that vulnerability, his reliance on Brad for support, well, that's what makes the next scene so devastating.
Because he's basically asking the real cause of the problem to be his confidant.
Exactly.
Okay, let's get to that critical scene. George asks Brad to go check on Amber before she leaves. Brad agrees, and he confronts her. He asks her what's really going on.
And at first she denies it has anything to do with George's behavior. She says, George wouldn't do anything to hurt me. She's trying to stick to the script.
It's not you, it's me script. She says, it's about me, how I feel.
But Brad sees right through it. He knows it's not just her. He pushes back, and he asks this question that just cuts through everything. He says, you must have known. I mean, it's not just me, is it?
And that's it. The emotional bomb drops. Amber finally admits that this whole panic trip to Ireland isn't about the wedding being too fast. It's about her feelings for Brad.
She says, I care about you too. That's why I have to go.
Wow.
The realization is so terrifying to her because of what it means for George that her only solution is to run. Just get on a plane and create physical distance. She's trying to sever the connection before it can do any more damage.
But she's framing it as a sacrifice to save George pain when really it's an admission of failure.
Of course. And then comes the frantic cover-up. She realizes the secret has to be buried. She tells Brad this can never happen. And she makes him promise.
Promise to forget this conversation and move past it somehow.
Which is an impossible thing to ask. It puts this huge ethical burden on Brad. He now has to actively lie to his best friend every single day. And he has to deny his own feelings.
All to protect Amber while she runs away from the mess she made. And he agrees. He promises to forget.
But a secret that big, you can't just discard it. It changes everything between the three of them. Forever. George just doesn't know it yet.
It also tells you everything you need to know about the engagement, really. I mean, if that relationship was truly solid, a crush wouldn't send her fleeing the country.
Absolutely. The attraction to Brad didn't break the relationship. It just exposed the cracks that were already there.
And we kind of see this theme of questionable judgment echoed in the last bits of gossip that Ian and Adam catch up on during their delivery run.
Right, the village grapevine. It never stops.
Never. They're talking about Lily being offered the wedding coordinator job at Gay Gables again. By Dane.
And the weird thing isn't the job offer itself, it's that it makes absolutely no sense. Ian points out that Lily didn't even apply the first time.
And more importantly, she's about to leave the country. She's planning to go to Australia with her friend Mason in a few weeks.
So she's not likely to stick around for a wedding coordinator job. It's just a bizarre move from Dane.
So you have Dane, who's seeing Helen making these a bit odd professional decisions. Ian doesn't seem very impressed with him at all.
No, but he says he'll have to get used to him now because of the Helen connection. It's just this final little piece of the puzzle, isn't it? It shows you all the different ways people in Ambridge are handling change. Adam's making a calculated, successful change. Susan and Ian are dealing with this urgent business threat. And then you have Dane, and especially Amber and George, where all the decisions seem to be driven by impulse or panic.
So after digging through all of this, what does it all mean for you? We've tracked Adam's, invigorating return to farm life. We've seen the desperate need for innovation to save the village shop, and then the absolute derailment of a wedding because of a secret that just couldn't be kept.
The common thread here, whether you're talking about business or romance, is the pressure to adapt while trying to stay true to yourself. Adam found that authenticity in hard work. Ian found it in an entrepreneurial idea. But Amber and Brad, they found themselves caught in a lie, a desire that had to be immediately buried under an escape plan and a promise.
And that's the thing. Amber and Brad have sworn to forget their conversation, to bury this secret. But given the sheer emotional force it took to admit it in the first place, and the fact that George is still completely in the dark, can a secret that profound really be left behind just by crossing the Irish Sea? What is the real cost of making Brad, the best friend, carry the entire weight of that secret?
So, what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just
And,
moving mics around.
So, what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the archers. Any
Are you what we
movements
call Foley then?
and- kind of. Yep. That's,
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
Yep. That's the bull bar. That's,
This one.
yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline.
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever